Escalating tensions in the Middle East are causing global uncertainty, especially around oil prices. Emerging markets took a hit last week, with South Africa's JSE losing over $200 million.
The question is whether that's a knee-jerk, as often is the case. So whether American investors are flooding out of emerging market currencies and assets because they fear, let's call it the second round effects of this, or whether it's just a case of, let's just return, assess the situation, and then we can redeploy, which I personally think is the case.
Oil prices have spiked, surprisingly not by as much as many traders had expected. However, with the threat of retaliatory attacks from either Iran or Israel, there's potential for oil to shoot above $100.
Depending on the extent and the duration of these escalations in terms of the geopolitical tensions, if it is sustained, and remember we did see this in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine, the oil price did spike, right? And that caused, this high for longer inflation environment that we have since, experienced over the last while. So we are likely to can go back, very quickly if the oil price stays higher because of these escalated political tensions.
The worry in South Africa and across the globe is inflation. Russia's conflict with Ukraine, which erupted in 2022, caused an upward spiral in global inflation, forcing central banks to act. The first interest rate cuts are still being cheered by many caught in a cost of living crisis. If the Middle East situation worsens, central bankers are likely to get uncomfortable once again.
If the oil price spikes, if there's an escalation that triggers an oil price spike, we've seen a hint of that. We have seen oil rally over 10% since the start of the month on the escalations. That then pushes the inflationary pressures. It makes the Reserve Bank think twice about the next cut.
South Africa's economy has been on a fragile path to recovery, making it especially vulnerable to geopolitical tensions. Rising oil prices and a weaker currency could place strain on households and businesses, as it will derail the Reserve Bank's plans to cut rates further. Sumitra Naidu, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.